All right. This might be a long recap video, but I wanted to recap just for me. These videos are for me. I don't sell anything. I don't have any discount codes. This is just my trading journal that I can look back on and see the evolution of my trading. Um, so right now I'm doing a little bit of testing between automation that I put together and manual trading, a little bit of both. And you can see what's automated here, the accounts that are all locked in there. One thing we've stumbled on was that the difference between prop firms, and it's alarming, the difference. You can see the Apex accounts were all pretty locked in. There was a little slippage, I guess, on this account. But this is a Tradeify straight funding account, and it's taken the same exact trades since September 8th as Apex. Look at the difference in in the accounts, the amount of money difference. And today is a perfect example. I guess there was some slippage here too, for whatever reason. But look, $40 minus $40 plus 15. That's a $55 difference there. And this is the difference from day one. So it's 250, 240 plus 10, $340 difference. Since September 8th, it's not that long. It's just 3 weeks maybe. And that's how much more commission is being taken from Tradeify, which to me is like, it's hard to do business with a company like that. And Legends Trading Tradeivate, same thing. They're pretty much in step with this as opposed to this. Bullnox is closer. I'm not really copy trading with Bullnox. It's separate, but their commissions are closer to Apex. If you want to say $1.04 round trip here, and trade, I don't have it on here, but Take Profit Trader is the best. They are the lowest commission. This is a company called Trade Shield. I think they're in more lines with Tradeify, like $1.90 a round trip. I could probably figure it out based on it. Maybe I'll pull up the trade report on this one to figure it out. And then Bullnox is like $1.11 a round trip, which is really good. It's a lot better than $1.90, which is Legends and Tradeify. $1.90 for one round trip micro. So that's kind of a recap. I was trying some copy trading with the automation, and anytime the automation loses, when I come in, I try to clean it up, and I'll show you what I mean. This is one of the Bullnox accounts, and anything you see, this was automated trades. It wasn't me. It was early in the most pre-market from 8 to 8:30, it looks like. Yeah. So the automators went this long. It was down $55. So when I came in, it wasn't too bad. So from this point on, it's me trading. Now, the market was kind of very volatile today. I don't really trade MES a lot, but I did today. And I got a little bit of trouble with trading. Now, not crazy trouble, but you look at this trade. I'm never. This is the first trade of the day. I'm going to go to the charts and explain why I took these and what was going on. So the first trade, won it pretty quickly and got the 55 down to 38 pretty quickly in a minute or two, less than a minute, 15 seconds. And I'll show you why I took these trades and where we were on the chart. And I was looking short. It was overall a pretty down day. So I was looking for pullbacks to levels, taking a short from those levels. If those levels didn't held, you add in the levels above it. And you can see this trade was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 contracts, which is equivalent to 1 ES, right? So it's not a crazy amount. It's 10 micros. And they were added at different times. And these were added in. It really took no heat. And I'll show you that on a chart. These 3 contracts here was where all the money was made. And that got almost the whole drawdown back of where the account was when I came in, which was minus 58. So I guess we can go to the charts and I'll explain this MES trade, which I normally don't trade, but did today because it was just, I thought MNQ was too wild. And then I go to MNQ and I trade it perfectly, of course. Well, not perfectly, but did what I had to do. So that trade, I don't even know what time it was. Let me go look at the timing on it. Again, there was a lot of trades to go through, so it's going to be a long video. So it's 10:13. Let's go to 10:13 on MES. There we go. All right, so I can see what's going on here. Now, we're in a down day. This market was down quite a bit. It had to be 30, 40, 50 points, which is a lot for that. So let's go to market open and see what's going on. So that was 8:30 news was out. Boom. It was a huge spike down. This is all 8:30 news. Now 9:30 open, it continued lower. This is VWAP, and I was like, all right, I'm going to play pullbacks 2 levels. So this orange is a Ludwig level. I wasn't trading here, but I would have, and that's a great trade. Really, very little heat, and boom, a flush. Token from this line. 15 points of ES is a lot. So finally, I come back in. I start to trade right here. Loving this. This is V. I got 2 VWAPs here. I got a support and resistance radar. I got a bunch of levels. I'm like, all right, we're reversing here, and we're at least going to here. So you're talking 10 points at least I was expecting. You can see that didn't happen. It hit this level. It never gave me a chance to get any profit, except for first trade. I got 2 points on this trade. The first trade here, yeah, I won those trades really quickly. And I thought it was going to continue, so it pulled back. I was like, all right, let me get in. Actually, I got in even later. Once it took profit, I got in again. I was like, oh, this is giving me another 10 points. Well, that didn't happen. Because he actually lost. This is considered a losing trade, but in the whole sequence, it was not. Yeah, so you can see the entry points and then the exits are all the same. So I was really waiting for price to hit these levels and then adding in. So let's go look at that, and I'll buzz through it a little quicker now. So I'm in here, and the strategy is to add in at levels above. Now, there's a couple other things we need to look at here, which I do look at and is pretty important. It's right here. These metrics is from Simple Market Metrics, and it's amazing how these charts work. And they do have signals. I don't take their signals. I'll use it more as a guideline, but it's the lines on the chart. And I probably could put this on Ninja, and they do have a version of this for Ninja, but it's a little laggy, so I won't. On TradingView, it doesn't affect Ninja at all, and there's no lag, there's no issues. So what was I looking at? That was at 10 right here. Okay, so this was the move up. So right here as well. Usually, when it hits this level on a down day, it flushes it, it reverses. And that's what I was expecting. That was about 10:13. So when this closed below the 200, that's why I was like, oh, we're going. Or I thought it was going to hit and just flush, and it really didn't. Now this is, let's do this. I'm looking at two different charts there. So I need to, because I was looking at this too, which I usually get, I don't, but today I was. We're going to get a good look at the reasoning behind the trades, and this is my journal just for my purposes to reinforce the rules and why I did what I did, and my mindset was and the logic behind it. So that trade was 10:13. Okay, so you can see we're down day. Huge down day, a few hundred points for NQ. This was down 30 points. And I was like, normally what happens is once it hits this 200 and it's a flush, continues the trend down, the hard trend down. And that didn't happen. So now I got to deal with this, and I'm expecting at least to add in and get out at the 200, right? Ultimately, but it's yes, MES. It made me stay in this trade for 45 minutes before it paid me. So all of this now I'm adding in up until here, and three really good ads. 1, 2, and it almost got me out here, but not quite. My target was probably like here. I was trying to get out of my entry, or at least VWAP. So I was probably like here. And when this happens, like, oh, here we go. We're getting this. And I think this is a 200 EMA in there on this particular chart. So it didn't pay me. Let's see what it was doing at 1030 on that other chart, and why it didn't pay me. Yeah, so what was holding it up? These EMAs are amazing how they work. It's a 21, a 55, and a 200. So at 1030, it couldn't get through this 21. You wouldn't think a 21 EMA would hold it up. But look at, like, if you were playing these longs, touch long, touch long, touch. I mean, you're done. Even this turned red, it touched it. You took a little heat, boom. You won all of these trades. Now, once this happens, all right, stop and see what happens. Well, here's where the flush came in, where I won. These levels up here, once these formed, I added in, I think, my last contract. You were getting a buy signal there. That's not a good buy signal going into these levels. The only way I would go long is if it broke those levels, pulled back, touched it, and then turned up. Then I would go long. But I was still in short mode. It was still a major, at least 30 points down here. And that was the play. So it was a torturous trade. Still going. I was still confident because it never broke these levels. It never broke that all of a perfect add-in by me. I mean, I couldn't have added in much better. Talk about adding in at the top. And I do this all the time. Specifically getting out right here. And why is that? Well, we couldn't break that level before. And I wanted to be out of this trade with money. What was this level? Yes, 63.50 is the lowest we got while I was in this trade. Where did I get out? 63.50. So, again, on purpose. There's this. They call it getting out gracefully, and that's why I got out here. And it was with profit, by the way. It was not huge, but it got, when this trade closed, I was down $11 from 55. So could have got a hell of a lot more, but again, I was in this trade over, not an hour, but 45 minutes or more. So happy to get out of it. I just want to see what was going on here as well. It was about 11. Okay. 63.50. Well, what's right here? The 200 EMA. All of them. And what's the normal move? It would touch and go if it's going to continue. So I had to get out here. Even though you look at you lost all that. I didn't lose anything. Because look at the 21 holding up. You would, and here, touch of the 55. It missed me by that, and it went back up again. It went up to here again. Finally it came, got me out, pushed through. Once it pokes through, now you wait and see what happens. Once you start seeing these closes down, boom. Now you can short it. I don't know what I did, but we're going to see, and this is why it's such a long recording because of this particular trade in general, which I don't know how much heat I took, but it probably wasn't more than a few $100. Was it 500? Maybe, but it's a $50,000 account. So, and these contracts took no heat. These 69s and 71s, these three contracts took no heat, and even 66s. What heat did it? It never really got above 70. This is the highest it got right there. So I wasn't getting smashed on it, but it was torturous. So now I flip over, and pretty quickly, I wasn't stressed out or anything. Seconds later, less than a minute later, now I'm long. So I'm curious to see where these longs were at. But from that point on, I don't think I lost. So we closed it here. So from this point on, you see two reds here. but it's not a losing trade, even though it looks like it. And NinjaTrader would call it a losing trade. But look at the close time. So this is the sequence here. I was at $3.85. When the dust settles, it was a $10 profit. So I guess we could start looking at these longs right here, which would be 10.03 on this chart. Wait, that wasn't right. 11.09. There was short 5. All right, looks like I won. What trade was this? Okay. Yeah, I was playing the levels. This is standard practice for me. Playing levels, bounces, hard move down. Normally it'll hit a level, test this one, and then continue. That's exactly what I did. Got in here, got out right before the level. Great trade. So I was playing longs. I guess I was, you know what? We were above VWAP, so I knew price will probably range and fluctuate, and I could win shorts and longs here. So again, love this trade. It's at VWAP. I got two different VWAPs here. I don't know. They're all about the same. One's a NinjaTrader, one is from Trading 123. So I got in right there. Why? The move is that we're going back here. 10 points. Well, it doesn't happen. What do you do? I'm in with 2 contracts here. I get in at the next VWAP. Even better. It hits that VWAP, goes down. Well, what's this? There's a level here. I'm in again. Right. I mean, perfect. If you look at these ads, no heat on this ad at all. Now what? Well, now I got to get out at VWAP purposely. Really before 94s, I'm purposely out. Again, a winning sequence of trades. So it's not random. Nothing is random here. And that was considered the losing trades, I believe. But I had to get out at 93, 94. In this one, I'm terrible with runners, but I don't know what was going on this chart at 09. Yeah, this was a lot of down pressure here, and I was going long here. So this was a bit risky because all of this was pointing down, and I was going long here. So I was fighting these metrics. That's what I say. Well, that's on ES. Let's go to MNQ at 11:15. Yeah, it was still down. Okay, now I can see why. Why was I thinking long there? We're above the 200 here. And generally, it won't blast through this. It will fluctuate. And you could see, this 200, yeah, it bled a little bit because it's NQ, and then I'll blast off. So I was right, even though we had reds and a signal lower. Normally, this 200 will at least give you a bounce of 10 to 20 points. In this case, it was 40, 50 points. So that's why I was in long mode. Even though it was a down day, those EMAs are that powerful. And you could see, I got out here, and if you look, I got out and price reversed. It could have, the move is generally, if it's going to continue, it'll hit and just keep going. And eventually it does. But in this case, it went through and then kept going. I don't know. I did keep trading, I guess, here. But I took a break. I was probably trading other accounts, and we'll look at those later. Looks like I only took like one more trade here at 11. Yeah, just winning these trades. Now I was in short mode at 11:31. That's why I was in short mode. 11:31. Oh, the breakdown. We're hitting. I was trading this, but in a different account. We hit this level. 30. Okay, this is VWAP. VWAP broke. Yeah, once this broke like this, it 100% should have hit here, and it probably does. So even though it broke above, I was like saying, this is going lower. And there you go. So now I stop playing the levels here. This moved really quick. and I took advantage of that quick moves. Luckily it was a good escape. It didn't make it to us. It must have been fluctuating, but I took whatever points it gave me. And that was it for this account for a while. I must have been trading other accounts. So let's go to 1:45 to 2 o'clock. Got the account up another 40, $50. But again, it was down 55 when I got in. So 100, my profit was 100 and change on here. So cleaning up what the automation dropped. Let's go to 1:45 and see what I was doing here. Should be right around here. Okay. These look like they were all in short modes. I was all over the place. Short, two shorts, and I love that I switch back and forth and I win, no matter what. So price must have been. Let's see what it was at 1:45 on the simple market metrics. 1:45 is right here. So it's totally down mode. And I won longs in here, which is crazy. All this is pointing down. So, these metrics are good. And usually you pay touches to these levels. So let's see what I was doing. Yeah, these are shorts. Okay, this makes sense. Why I took this. This is called a Ludwig level. So going short here, I'm thinking we're going to here. Now I cut out early. I got 5 or 6 points each. When it did touch, this is my entry. Right on the line and out on this line. So that was my long, which I won even though this was going on. And it shows how good these levels are. Even in a down day, you can scalp your 5 points there. Why? Because it's a Ludwig, support and resistance radar. What's the normal move? Now I'm going to wait to see what. I'm not confident it's going back up. If it is going to go back up, it would have to blast this pretty good, touch it, and then go up, or just go straight to this level. In this case, once this goes, now I'm probably in short mode again. And there you go. Once this goes, I was like, this red line is called a first standard deviation. It wasn't a lot. I caught it late. But I said, it's going to give me 3 points. I'm taking it. So I really took it from 27 to 25. And on purpose. It was not random that I took 3 points. I took 3 points because that's what the chart normally would give you. Because if it's going to reverse, it might reverse at this level. I've seen it touch it to the tick and go right back to there. And I'm not sure what happened here. It blasted through. Once I see this, we're probably going short. But I was done at that point. Yeah, and you could see I was right. Once you see this level, you know what's going there. So that was this particular account. I'm going to show a little recap of man versus machine. The bull knocks I've kind of been trading myself. And this was a combination of me, the automation, and me. But mostly me. I don't even know when I started trading this account. Just go back to here. But I'll be able to tell by trades. So this is counted up 1,300. Let's go to the analysis. So this is my curve. I have no losing days on my manual trades anyway. So it goes back to the 18th. I don't go for a lot of money per day. And it's a great curve. So here you go. So this losing day was really a $700 loss in automation that I had to clean up. And the only way we know that is if we go like this. The apexes I've been using to test automation. I guess we could use this one too. That's the Tradeify. It's just commissions, but so there you go. That is the Tradeify with automation, and it was doing great. Really, only 1-2 losing days until here. This was more of a break even. So this is the day that it lost $700, the automation, and I only managed it back down to 200. So that's the difference in the accounts. Why I'm up $1,300. Even the Apex accounts, you can see from here, this was today, are only up 109. Now they're green, right? But they're trading since September 8th. If we go look at this, is when that automation started. I think I took these trades. No, September 8th is when it started. I got to tell you, it had a losing day in the second day, but look how it bounced back. I mean, this is impressive that it was up like this and just struggled and, for the last week. Doesn't mean it can't come back. So, again, man versus machine so far. That's it. So, let's pull up this account. I've been trading this. It's a new account with Legends. They had screwed something up and I don't know if they reset it or they just gave me an account a few days ago. And I've been trading this manually. But this was, again, the automation that lost. And I it was a $700 loss and I cleaned it up. Today I got $42. So let's go to today's trades. 25th. And I want to see what I did with this one. Where will it go? Let's go to trades. Might take a minute. And we'll go to that account. I think I only traded MNQ with this one to get the profits back. I don't know what time it was, but let's see if we can figure it out. All right, so these are the trades. And this was, I guess you could tell the automation. How do we know? Oh, the contract size. The automation was trading 5. So here you go. They were down $38 for the day. So I turned a $38 loss. I won. It was down more. It came back a little bit and then it stopped. So this is all May. Oh, wow. MES. I did trade some MESs. But just making a couple out. I was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Wow. All right, so I made a couple of bucks there. Some longs. Got a point each. A couple of points each. But let's go here. At 135 on MNQ, I was short the whole time. Let's see why. 135. So it was pretty late in the day that I decided to get the money back. Yeah, so let's see what's going on with the metrics. I'm sure that has something to do with it. 135. Yeah. So everything is pointing down here. Normally I like to play touches. The 21 to 55 and the 200. If the trade goes against me besides the NinjaTrader levels, these are levels I will add in. I know what these levels are because I'm looking at it on a different computer. So I know exactly where to add in. But any of these touches, look at all these, even if it comes close to that 21, boom, boom, boom. So right now, we're here. I'm looking at this. And all this pressure's down. Everything is red. Even now, this is live, live overnight trading. Yeah, so I'm playing all of that red with, we were stuck in here. I was playing shorts off of here down to here. I don't need a lot of points. You can see 79, boom, level to level. I entered in here thinking we were going here. So I said, even if we don't, I thought it was going to go straight there, and it didn't. It took a detour, and I'm fine with that. Why? Because I know here, and look at my add-ins, just so good. And the add-in, it flipped, and really, it should have went here, and it didn't. Took another detour. Right there, 79, I'm in again. 0 heat, and now the flush. And there you go. And my levels here, I always cheat a few points. So I was in at 63. This whole sequence probably got me close to profit. And let's see, at 139 that trade closed. It did, yeah. It might have been it. So really, 2 trades. No losing trades, and clean that account up and turn it from 38 loss to a $42 profit. And Let me go back here. Yeah, I mean that's all I needed to clean that account up. And not, my idea is with the commissions being so high on this, um, to keep them even with the Apex accounts, I'm going to have to, even on a winning day, maybe, just trade it a little bit to that. So that was another account. Again, I didn't trade great today. I definitely got in some trouble. Like that MES trade was a rough one. So that was the Legends account. Let's go to... This is another one I had to clean up. So this one, again, was down 78 bucks. And what did I turn it into? A $49 win. So again, 80 plus 50. That was a pretty big turnaround there in micros. 80 bucks plus 50 bucks. 130 bucks that I made. And that was from 1017. Really, I was green by 1034. I did it in 15 minutes. And that's the goal, to get the commission back and get the accounts even. And the Apex accounts were like 15 bucks today if you look. That was their profit today. So boom, I got it right there. Later in the day, it looks like an hour later, I probably saw some things that I liked and got in. So I always like to look to see, what I was thinking here. And, again, sequencing of these trades, $2 losses here, but were they really losses? All these trades close at the same time. Started at 53, ended at 20. So it's $30 profit in micros, $33 profit in micros. Only had $20 to go. These were just winning trades, 2 contracts, winning. Got it down to almost zero. Here's another trade, just winning trades, got it up. And then I stopped. I didn't even have to add in. My entries were good. So let's go to this count. That was account 28, I think, right? And I'm only on MNQ. I didn't even mess around with MES. I guess the market calmed down a little bit. So 1017. And account 28. Let's see, was I short or long? These are all shorts. So let's look at 1017 on here. Yeah, so this was in long mode. This was kind of ballsy. I mean, now it was a big down day. We were down several hundred points today. So just because this was green didn't mean too much, and that's why the metrics are good. I don't trade with the class because they probably wouldn't have you go short here, and they would have won, really. Playing pullbacks to this line would have won. So I was kind of going against that, but let's look at my chart and see why, because sometimes Ninja can overrule simple market metrics based on overall market trend. Yeah, my entries, just playing these levels on a short day, really entries, boom, targets, and purposely going above the 600. It's a thing. You could see it hit 6, and look at that bounce up. There's no reason it could have went more than that, and I don't want to deal with that. I want to get my money. If it's going to go, I'll get in again here. Well, it hit this. The 6 is the reason why this happened here. If it wasn't 600, this probably would have went right through, whatever it was. It's pretty impressive that it blasted through VWAP, because a lot of times I will go long here, but not in a hard down day. What I'm really looking for is a break, a touch, and a go. And this is kind of wacky price action. This was a trade that killed me. Again, I'm thinking short. This was a rough one. Well, really not that bad. But again, I'm in here. Let's go to 1023. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a typical, we think we're going lower. These levels did not hold, and this was a fast move up. Within a minute, price shot up 20 points. And I get in, boom, boom, 2 add-ins. And look, again, couldn't have got much better than that. And as soon as it came out to get me out, amount specifically at 23, right where we got in. So everything made money here. You got a couple of 2 or 3 break evens, but from 37 to 23, let's see what that looks like. 30 right here. It's these. 50 bucks. You know, and this comes up as a losing trade, but is it really? Not when you got 50 here. One of these was really crazy, man. I don't know if it was this 11:30 trade. Let's look at that one. One of them I had it head in like crazy, and took a lot of heat and then won it. So 11:23 is an 8-minute trade's long for me, so I'm curious to see about this one. And I was long, which was kind of ballsy on a day like today. Entry target, yeah, just playing levels short. Kind of done at that point. Had the account green. All right, so now for some reason, it might have been because of simple market metrics. 11:24. I went long here, so let's see what was going on at 11:24. There you go. That explains it. We're above all these EMAs. When you get a touch here, and it did, even though it blasted through, I got to take some heat. From 600 down to here, not a lot, but the EMA did its job. It blasted up. So I was in long mode here. Even though these metrics are all red, we had a 200 here. And generally it won't blast through. You'll get a bounce. I get my profits. And if it's going to go through, it will go through, hit it, and then go down. So let's see what was going on. Yeah, that level, I thought these were going to hold. So I started getting in probably at the 55 or the 21, thinking it was going to hold. Playing that bounce purposely. But so what? You add in. I got in at the 200. It didn't quite, almost got paid here, but not quite. I was probably still a bit red. What happens? I get in again. I'm confident we're going to at least get me out here again. Now, once I'm in here, I can get here, and I'm in profit. So let's see what happens. There you go. I was in at 22 here, so, but it was a good trade overall. Confident this level, the 200, strong levels. So even if it's going to continue, generally will, give you a bounce before it continues low, and which is what it did. Eventually, it does flush again. So crazy trade, but you're not talking 30 points of heat in micros. And these, the 600, I couldn't add it much better than that. And these levels did hold up. And then, usually I like to get out here. Could have got out there, but I was happy with the 14. Really, the only contract that lost was these two. Everything else, this is coming up as a loss, but really was it? Yeah, see, those are coming up as lows. Those were legit 22s, but the 14, $2. But these are all the wins. 25, $38 win. So took the account. The start of the trade was at $11. It ended at 44. Then for good luck, I took trades later in the day. That won pretty easily, just for a few bucks each. I think there was one more account. One of these trades, I really want to go over it because it was a struggle. Again, this is the AI. This one was down $76. It ended up $80. Oh, 88. So you're talking, I just took this trade. You're talking 76, 75 plus 90. Yeah, it's a pretty big turnaround there. $160 that the automation, better than the automation anyway, to keep these accounts healthy, even though the automation struggled. So let's see if we can figure out if any of these give me a lot of trouble. So this was trading at 1044. is when I took over, and it was account 29. Yeah, I love these shorts here. Oh, 10, yeah, I might have been taking those. 44, 44. Yeah. So I was going short here, and I did have to take heat. I want to see what was going on the market metrics at 1042. All right, so it was still, everything was green. So again, really, I was against these metrics, but it was an overall down day. So should have been going short there? Well, maybe not, but you can see I was right. Look at the flush. And when it's a strong downtrend or uptrend, it's the same concept. Like eventually, it's gonna flip and get tossed. And look where it hits. You know, I think I was trading this, and then I was going long here, but I was short in here because it was so entry again. The reason really was I knew I had this Ludwig level. These are the strongest levels on the chart. It didn't even hit it. It came close and it flushed. So in at 27, 36, 45 and out at 20. So really good sequence of trades there. Let me see when their account. All of this was out here and it got me in profit. 2-minute trade, but yeah, so pretty quick. It was 2 trades and I made that $75 back. But I think it was the next trade. So this was a good sequence here. This made half the profit, half of the 7, made $35 back. Now I'm playing right here. All of this. I don't know why this was such a struggle. Really wasn't that long. Purposely, again, you know, we did break the Ludwig, and a lot of times when it pokes through, it could continue up, and so the move is it could hit here and then try it again. So again, purposely getting out here. Let's see what the metrics were doing at that time. What was there? What if I took profit for some reason? Yeah, it was a 21. That was at 23. Where was I taking profit at? 41. What was up there? 1050. Yeah, being just conservative. So I took profits really early there, probably because of this level, nothing to do with market metrics, and I was in profit. And I think that got me, that got the account green, and that was the goal, was to make what the automation lost, and I did it right there. This is the hairy trade again. You know, you did that one more trade. 12 minutes for me is a long time, let alone 45 minutes. And I can see I'm short. 600 must have broke, and I'm like, oh, we're flushing here. Well, look at my add-ins. I went from 600's first entry. Wow. And my last entry was 48. 50 points of heat. Now, it wasn't 50 points total because there was only a few contracts here. And then I added in at levels, and then the flush comes back. So it's a winning trade. My original entry was at 600. I got out at 22 for profit. Went from $8 to, and decent profit in micros. But a struggle of a trade. And this is why I said I traded bad. This probably gave me, I don't think it was $1,000 a heat, but it was definitely 500. I'm guessing. Let's see what it looked like on the chart. I knew this was it was a struggle today. Yeah. So we're going down, down, down. We're going to 600 here. Now, VWAP. I'm confident we're in short mode here. Now we break this pretty easily. I'm like, oh, we're flushing. And there you go. What's the move? Breaks VWAP, hits flush. Doesn't have. So I was shocked that this, and it did react. but it went from this VWAP to this VWAP. It hits this, and why it's sprung board, I have no idea. So now, and it was a pretty fast move. This was really quick. And I'm adding in at levels. I'm like, oh man, oh man, oh man. Once I see this, I was like, oh, it's going to come back now. Well, that didn't happen either. Now I'm adding in again. And again, the add-ins really not taking a lot of heat. So let's look at that. The add-ins, yeah, 48s. Those are my last two add-ins. And I still had to go for 10 minutes to get down to here. Wow. This one got out at 15. That's weird. Let's look at that. Let's see how I got out of it and why. So here's my add-ins. We never really I mean, this would have been trouble. If this would have kept going, that account could have been in serious trouble. But again, you see fighting the level, double top. Now we're pushing lower, pushing. It's trying to break through these levels. And yeah, I'm all out. Right there. Right, and I could have pushed it to here, but something must have been here on the market metrics at 1122. Blow it up. There you go. 1122. So I needed to break the 21. And you can see that was fighting. 26, it bounced. I needed it to hit the 55, which it did. And that's once I was above the 55 purposely, just in case it came close and retreated. And really, it did hit it and bleed through a little bit. But I was at 17. There you go. So I had some at 22, some at 17. And specifically, why? Because, yeah, that was right at 17, 18. So again, getting out gracefully with a profit, and that got me green for the day. Went in later, took some good entries and exits, just going for a few bucks, piling it on, and that was it. I think that was everything. I knew it was going to be a long video today, so interesting day. In line with this Holy Grail algo. All right, I've been with them for a few years. I'm, I guess, a yearly member, and they came out with some automation now. So they just sent me, because I'm one of the founders of the company, because I was there coming from day one. So they call you like a founding member, and I renew every year. So I'm gonna get this automation, Holy Grail, and their stuff is pretty good. And I've gotten payouts with them where I would put their automation on, their old automation, which they don't even have anymore, and I would let it trade. And if it won 400 a day, it was good. If it lost, I think it was like a $500 or $600 loss, I would come in and get the drawdown back. I've gotten payouts doing that with Holy Grail. So I'm curious to see their new bot, how it works. It uses AI. It says it's called Evolve. I'm going to chuck it on an account and let it go. I think you have to get their VPS, which I'm not against. I think they use Host Venom. But it'd be good because I could just throw it on their VPS, buy an account, and see what it does. If it works, that's a great thing. You know what I mean? It'd be like me hiring an employee. I guess I wasn't just looking at my levels, and again, a down day, you're going short here, playing shorts here. This is VWAP. Usually VWAP will hold and flush the price down, and it pretty much, now you're playing these levels. You're playing it. This is a Ludwig level. It's a magnet. Price probably goes here. I don't know. I'm going to scroll forward, but I'd be shorting these levels into here. And there you go. So again, that's and random. I'm just scrolling the chart. I didn't know if it went there, but I know because I watch these charts enough. Now, could you go long here? Yeah, you could have went long. You could have added in. You could have made money there because it will pause before it continues at a Ludwig. That's how powerful they are. So even though it's like this, it's like, oh, you shouldn't go long there. Well, you could with this. Even if it went through, you'd add in, you'd get out here because what's the move? It breaks it, touches, and then goes. So if you're in here, add in there, out there, you just made 10 points and you break even on that one. Even if it's two of them, you made 10 points. Hold on, my power just went out. Oh. And that's it. So that's how these metrics work. Again, once it breaks, what's the move? Short, short. And look at that. Sure enough. Beautiful. Here, another Ludwig was created here and was won here. You could have played that long and won it. Now you can play it short off of here. And there you go. Once this breaks, man, this is a second standard deviation. I don't know if price went that quite far, but look at that. Down day, hits a Ludwig level, short, win. This is where it gets sketchy, hits it here, doesn't really get you out, doesn't get you out here. You can be in a little bit of trouble there. But, it probably would let you out here because you're close enough to these entries to get out. Yeah, so I was thinking long here. Once this broke, I thought, and again, a perfect long get out at that level because this was a really strong move up. And now you think you're going to VWAP. Let's see if we did. And sure enough, it was right. Playing the levels to VWAP. It's a magnet. And there you go. And now what? You're down for the day. VWAP short. So interesting. Pretty wild day, man. This is like the area I think I would have gotten in trouble. The same exact move. If I went short here, I'm adding in. Now what? It flushed right back down. So how many points of heat was this? About 40. Similar to the trader. I wasn't trading at this time, but if I was, I would have had some heat, would have got out. So anyway, that is a crazy day of trading. I didn't trade particularly well, but I did trade better than the automation. Thanks, everybody.